culture, it's not what you've written on the wall, what you've written on the policies, books, that my culture has to be like this. It's not. It is something like how an employee feels.
What role does appreciation play in culture?
Say thank you. That doesn't stop you. During your journey in an organization, every employee, in addition to your compensation, he looks at that how I'm going to grow in an organization.
Based on your experience, based on last 20 years, what are your employee engagement in organization?
Take care of your team so they will make you success. You cannot go as a boss. You have to go as a collaborative leader and you have to work with them.
When something happened to personally, then we go through that kind of experience, and when someone is given the opportunity to look into that one, then you come in a different way.
If you look at the problem is bigger than you, bigger than your imagination, yes, suppose it scares you. We look at the problem or a challenge as a big one, which we cannot achieve it. You just go hit and then you will get the solution.
Hello everyone, welcome to the episode 28, the Leaders Speak podcast. Today we have very young chap, and he has more than 2 decades of experience in manufacturing industries. And when he started his career, within 10 to 12 years, he reached HR head of the organization. He has so much of potential, and he has more than 5 to 6 different manufacturing industries work. And today he is one of the HR head of the big corporation in Bangalore. He has worked with so many people, and he visit regularly to the colleges, school to give the lecture, like talk about HR policy, talk about how the HR has changed from so many years. He gives a lot of inputs for the upcoming HR professionals and management student. And personally, I love this episode because he put practical experiences and he given beautiful stories also. And some of the stories are amazing. It's like I understand how can we solve the problem. That amazing person today we have. Let's dive in to continue the conversation with Mr. Jayram. Good morning, how are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm good. Thank you so much.
First of all, thank you so much for coming over there, the podcast, The Leaders Speak. It's been a privilege to have you here in the podcast.
Hey, namaskara. Thank you so much for having me here. And it's a great pleasure for me to be part of this 28th podcast episode. And I've watched a couple of your previous episodes, and it's really a great, and different leaders have given a different perspective and different their views and all. It is really required current situation, so that whatever they've gone through that, so probably we get that inspiration, and then it makes us to better and better in our day-to-day activities.
Thank you so much. It means a lot, sir. When it's come from your kind of a person, I know you are more than 20 years experience. It's more than almost 2 decades. I want to start with you, like about your personal life. Where you born? What's your family background? And what is your education? Could you help me on to understand on?
Sure. I am from a small village near Tumkur. I completed until my 10th standard in my village, and the entire family relocated from village to Tumkur city for our higher education. And my father is a retired bank employee. Mother is a housewife. And I'm married, and my wife is a dentist. And I've got a son who's going to school in 9th standard now. And I have 2 siblings that are happily settled. So one is in France and another one is in Bangalore.
Okay.
So this is about my family. When it comes to my education, I spent good time in Tumkur till my bachelor's degree, and moved to Bangalore for my master's. So I've done my MSW from Bangalore University Gnanbhati campus, and after that, again I'd been to XLRI to do my another post graduation.
Okay.
And happy working for last 2 decades in HR field.
Great, amazing. I want to ask you one thing. I had so many people when I meet so many different industries people, especially leaders and all. One thing I understand, Jayaram sir, there are major people who come from tier 2, tier 3, like small town. They become a very good leader. Okay, and if you see the cricket also, the Indian team presently around 60-70% all small town people only. What is the difference? Like, why small town people or like this tier 2, tier 3 people are coming up in a good relationship? Is it big, leadership basically? Is it because of that initially they don't have that kind of facility what they want to do in life? they'll start their own, they build that kind of character, that build kind of muscle, build that kind of strength and like that. Can you just highlight on those things?
See, in that sense, that I can say that you say B town or a village or something like. We didn't have any facility that time.
Okay.
If you ask me, whatever the very limited facility or limited resources that we had, we enjoyed a lot. I'm really not sure the current kids have enjoyed the way that we enjoyed.
Correct.
So many things we see, even when we were going to school, nobody told us that how we have to go. If you ask me, I used to carry or take my brother along with me
Correct.
when I was small. And always my grandparents used to tell me, if you behave this way, how will he does it? You know what was my age then? My age was 10 years. My brother was 6 years. 10 years is not big. And I'm still kid. And I always, see, I'm an eldest son in our family.
Okay.
And always I have to take care of my two younger brothers. So that is where it starts. And it is not, nobody taught us. It's something like, okay, my mother is to go for work in a field and say, okay, you take care of your brother. And then I'll come back in the evening. Till in the evening, that's my responsibility to ensure my brother is safe, and then I take care of everything. So this is how, I'm not saying that me alone and our generation, who are the people who are from different, as you said, that B towns. So they all went through the same kind of a situation and they've grown in that way. If that being the case, when you come to an very structured, formal organization, it's very easy for you to correlate and take things forward and then do that. At the same time, you will come with, I don't know about the current generation, but our generations have taken a lot of responsibility. If you ask me, we were having almost 25 people in our master's batch.
Okay.
Today, all of them have settled down.
Wow.
If you ask me, whoever comes and asks us, why you're here, what's your goal? Everybody say that I have a lot of my responsibility on my shoulder. I have to take care of my family, my parents, and then I have to lead my life. So that made people to be more proactive in leading their life, and their aim is to achieve what they dream.
Yeah. No. I resonate a lot of things with me, because also same thing, like I come from the small town.
Yes.
I understand, because that those incidents, those situations what we go through earlier, that's made us so strong, sir.
True.
Moreover, that we know how to overcome irrespective of anything going to happen in our life. That, like we told, not believe in yourself. That's what the hardship what taught us in the initial stage. And I resonate a lot of things from you. And I know you are more than 2 decades of experience in HR, but I want to know, when you after the college, when you want to decide, you decided, okay, I want to go start my profession in HR. What made you to decide that I need to go on this line only? Why not any other profession?
Okay. To say that, when I was in my bachelor's degree, I had a friend who was my classmate. After completion of my bachelor's, I thought I want to become a lecturer. That was my, either lecturer or a advocate.
Okay.
So I thought, let me go, because I was in Tumkur.
Okay.
My friend told me there's a course in Bangalore.
Okay.
That's MSW. It's a very limited seats. If you join there, you will get a better job outside. Was told to me.
Got it.
And I came and joined in Bangalore. And while we've doing it, MSW have got 2 different, specialization in our course. And I should thank to most of my classmates who inspired and, or motivated me to choose to go for an HR. I didn't know what is HR, how to work in HR. But when I started understanding how HR has to be in an organization and what are the elements that you have to build as a person to become a successful HR, I somewhere felt like, okay, my personality suits this profession, where I'm more, towards people friendly, more towards, having an interaction with the people. And that, as I said in the past, we've all grown in a village.
Correct.
Village is more of, you will have a social bonding, social connect with the people. And it's not that if you go to village and ask somebody, this guy, everybody say, yeah, I know this guy, you go and meet him. that is how the connect will be there. So I thought, okay, my personality from a village background, and it's helped me to connect directly with the people. So then I thought, okay, this is my right path, and I chose to go for HR. So otherwise, I was not even knowing that what HR is.
Correct.
So it's just something like it came to me.
So
I
your friend,
grabbed it.
Okay.
So I started building my personality, what HR wants it.
Okay. No, I agree on that, because anything would happen in your lives, there is some reason for that, and that's what you are here today. More than 20 years experience, and you are one of the you're an HR head, one of the organization. Now, when it's come to organization, okay, we have a manufacturing tradition from so many years, and now it's IT. I know it is when it's come to culture, when we compare both the sector in this, IT culture may not be as disciplined manufacturing, what I feel personally. And I know here they're easygoing, there's like all Gen Z people, they'll enjoy their work from home, but manufacturing doesn't work like that, because you have machinery, you have a lot of other things, blue collar employee and all. What is the difference like, according to you? Like, which one, like, I know both the cultures are important, and I do respect both the things, but here, what is the difference according to you, sir, when it comes to IT and manufacturing?
See, I may not be a right person to say the difference,
Okay.
but I can say that what works well for manufacturing organization, because I haven't worked in an IT setup.
Oh, okay.
But however, I worked in a tech centers.
Acha.
So tech center is part of manufacturing as a complete ecosystem. It was like in a manufacturing industry, you will have a different layers of people working there, different generations of people working there. If you take one organization who got 50 years of legacy, you will have a people who have spent 30 years in that organization. You will have a people who are just coming in, just passed out from a college and joining the organization. That is one segment. When it comes to next segment, as you rightly put it, you will have a people who are working on a mission, who are normally called as the blue collar employees. Sometimes they're organized in terms of they form their own union and they work on that. See, each category of people, their desires, their understanding, or what they want is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and here culture or a manufacturing setup has to be in a line that you have to meet all their requirements, and there your leadership styles plays a vital role. How you're going to talk to the people. Example to give that. Many days that I have encountered, I'll have to go and meet a senior director to give a business strategy or HR strategy to explain that how we're going to take it to the next 1 year. You cut, and then you will have an employee where you have to go and talk to them to build his career advancement and what kind of personality that he has to build it to become a future leader. In a next minute, you'll have to go and have a discussion with the union leaders, union people. They're completely a different way that they sit across and then discuss. At the same time, next is you have to go and talk to the operator or a workman who is an individual. In needs is completely different. So you see that in a day, you will have to play 4 to 5 different roles as a leader. That makes totally different in a manufacturing setup. As an organization culture, if you ask me how to check the pulse of a culture, it's completely like, it's not what you have written on the wall, what you written on the policies, books, that my culture has to be like this. It's not. It is something like how an employee feels and Sunday night at home, should I go to office Monday morning and how it's going to be.
Correct.
And do I need to prepare any notes to make that more effective, more success, decides what kind of culture that you have in your organization.
That's very important, right?
So that is what I believe, make it more proactive, make it more, see, of course, systematic or a disciplined culture in manufacturing industry is required.
Mm-hmm.
Reason is, we make a physical product, right? If you ask me, this is the mic, which we use it, right? Until unless somebody goes to the manufacturing or a shop floor and makes it over and then you don't get that out.
Correct.
So for that, you will have a different setup, different culture, different process in place. So that makes you more better and better.
No, I agree on that because culture is very important for any organization. Even though if it's small organization or bigger organization, it's very important to drive the business or drive the culture. That's very, very important, right? That's
Correct.
What,
And to continue or to make it more effective is, see, HR, when I started 20 years ago, it was a transactional function.
yeah. Okay.
It's more of, we are the supporting function.
Okay.
So we help business. We do, do administrative activities to ensure that the business stays. Now, over the years, HR has transformed like anything. We, we become a strategic function. We drive the business.
Oh.
Okay. And as I was just saying, for any manufacturing process, since the beginning, we say there are 4 elements. 4 M's normally it's called as.
What? 4 M's?
4 M.
Okay.
Men, material, money, and method. Okay. When you say that, you need money, and every time money keeps changing its value. So 10 years ago, the 100 rupees value is not today what 100 rupees is.
Correct.
Right? So we keep change our dynamics, we keep change our investments. So where do we invest? What do we do that? When it comes to material, we want the best material in the world. We want to import the material, or we want to make the best material.
Okay.
Method is nothing but technology that we use, how you're going to make your machines, how you're going to make your product. At the same time, men is also very important because they are the one who leads rest of the 3 elements.
Correct.
If that is the case, you have to invest more on men, carve them, develop them, and build them, as a future leaders, so that they utilize these 3 very effectively.
Nice. Got it.
Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much, sharing. Now, the next question will be: what role does appreciation play in culture?
My current boss always says that not demotivating people itself is a motivation.
Not demotivating itself is a motivation.
Motivation.
Wow, amazing.
Okay. Don't demotivate people first. That itself it will be, taken into or managing things. Then when it comes to appreciation is a different way, different, forums. And each employee is unique and they have a different desires, different way of appreciation. Example, I'm saying that I appreciate a guy by paying additional compensation. I appreciate a guy by promoting him. Or I appreciate a guy in front of 100 people, tap the back, saying that, okay, you've done a good job. I give a small, the thank you card and say, yeah, you've done a great job. Thank you very much for supporting. And also very important, who is saying what to whom. If a leader goes to your person, the employee, hey, thank you so much. You've done a great job yesterday. And that helped me to succeed XYZ. And it is proud. And next time when you go, you'll say, sir, what do you want? I'll do that for you. But that appreciation has to happen constructively then and there. You cannot accumulate things and do it once in a month. Okay. You should do instantly.
Acha.
Okay. Example, if a guy who comes and gives you a coffee when you wanted it, you never asked, but he gave it. Say thank you. That doesn't stop you, right?
Nice.
So that gives you a kind of a motivation for each and everybody to work. And now, see, you see that the Gen Z generation coming into a market, and their expectation is totally different. And you cannot go as a boss. You have to go as a collaborative leader. And you have to work with them. And you have to talk to them. And I, throw a kind of question to every leader. How many times you meet your team out of your office environment. Means it's not like you have to take them out to have a dinner or enjoy with them. I'm saying that how many times you go to canteen along with them to have food,
Okay.
and how do you understand what kind of challenges your team is facing, and what extent that you're going to support them. How collaboratively you assign the task to them, and giving them a very clear picture what we want to achieve. One is what we want to achieve. Second one is how we need to achieve and why we need to achieve. So if you give a clarity in the beginning before go for a review, so that they'll be clear what they want and put them a timeline. So let them come back and then give it to you. They're happy to work with you.
Correct. No, that's very important, because you want to create that kind of culture that everyone can put up their ideas, or maybe I understand some companies I know, like they have so much ideas, but they're not able to put across, because when you have these kind of easy work in the environment, what you want to create, there are a lot of new ideas going to come up. That's what I understand, because they'll be sharing a lot of things, because there is no struggle to communicate. When you're talking about all those things, this makes huge impact on the employee, because nowadays they have much better than idea what they are, because they know what is happening in the market, and definitely it's going to help a lot as a leader.
Correct. There were two things that I want to quote here. When you go to lunch along with your team members, I make a point, we don't talk anything about our work.
Absolutely. Correct.
Okay? When you give them freedom, when you give them an empowerment, you can say whatever the ideas that you want. You, over a period of time, when you build that kind of a freedom to talk, they will come and tell you what they feel.
Mm-hmm.
And also sometimes there's no harm in seeking feedback from them about my leadership style. Am I going in a right direction? So what they want?
Right.
Okay?
So I understand. Yeah. Nowadays the leadership should be more grounded, more empathy. That helps to grow. Actually, he can take up the team in a different level. That's what I understand. Yeah.
I think these are some of the examples that I can say that you have to be with the team
Absolutely.
to ensure that what is going on their mind.
Correct.
And you have to motivate them. There are a lot of talented people available in the market.
Yeah, because when I started my career, I know how HR heads are behaving. It's totally bossism. Now that it's gone, I understand. Like as you mentioned rightly, it's more on collaborative way, going with the team.
Correct.
It's part of the team. That's very important. That's what the change from last couple of years. What I understand. Now, do you have any story of practical examples, like you've gone through these kind of things, then you change the things when it's come to culture? Maybe on any organization, if you're working earlier, it's changed totally now.
Correct.
Maybe without taking the name of the organization, you can please share with us, because that's going to help my audience. Like,
true. One particular point that I can say that way back, maybe around 10-15 years ago, I was just 3-4 years of experience. And before that, I want to say that I'm very lucky to get a very good bosses, or very good leaders where with whom that I worked with. And one of my favorite boss was, he was, handling a department. And then one point in time, we said, sir, can we have a team outing? I mean, that was not a culture. I'm talking about 15 years ago or 18 years ago. There were some IT industries were doing that, not a complete manufacturing setup. But he said, chalo, we'll go. And I literally feel that the boss was completely different outside. Okay, what we were seeing him inside the office, always he was busy, and he calls us only when we need particular point, and he gives the tasks, reviews, and then does all monotonous job in an office. When you go out, you see him a real person, right? There we started building our relationship with him, started understanding, and then we made a point since then to say, okay, we had on 7-8 people in our team. Either one or the other person falls on a birthday in one or the other month. We make a point, okay, that day we go out, we'll have a dinner outside, including the boss. So that gave us a kind of a freedom, and I'll tell you, I worked with him for about 5 years. First 1 year, 2 years was very, very uncomfortable, like it's a boss and subordinate relationship. Then we started, learning from him most of the things. And many times the subordinate feels, why boss says this? He doesn't like me. This is not a, actual intention. Boss has 100 things in his mind. Or I don't want to use word boss. It's a leader, has 100 things in his mind.
Right.
But subordinate doesn't know what is going through in his mind. And when boss or a leader sits with a subordinate, makes him to understand, this is what it is. This is how I need it. And if you give him a freedom that way, you can knock my office and then come in and then discuss with me, that makes them more comfortable to express their view, give their idea. And another best leaders qualities, allow your team to make more and more mistakes. So then only they will come out with a lot of innovative ideas.
Correct, absolutely.
So do not scold them, do not punish them if they make mistake. If they make mistake, it means they're doing something innovative.
Differently,
Something different.
Correct.
Allow them to do that. You being a leader, you support them. Not at the cost of big, but at least you allow them to make the mistake.
If you want to tell in one word, let's say when you joined 20 years back as a HR executive, now you're an HR head of the organization. What culture has changed? Last 2 decades, same thing in one word. Now earlier it's sort of different according to you. What is the change happened in the last 20 years?
The big transformation has happened.
Yeah.
Big transformation has happened. See, many times we say that the one particular point is like we have to retain employees to have a skill retention. But how we going to do that is very important. You being a HR leader, so you'll have to craft a policy, craft a system, craft a culture. So the culture is very important. Of course, one way your policies talks about what you have to behave. At the same time, your as a leader, your exemplary behavior, demonstrated behavior is very important. That how you're going to lead that culture.
Okay. As you mentioned that retention, right? I know it's very, very important. Any organization to keep up the employee happy and improve the retention rate. This is according to me that I'll meet IT HR and manufacturing HR heads. In especially IT, people work more on retention, like because they get a lot of perks, they get a lot of facility for the employee. Is it same way in manufacturing also? Because I didn't see that kind of things manufacturing. Maybe it has changed now. No idea. How normally you do in manufacturing?
See, retention is a big concept altogether. Yes, of course, even in manufacturing industry, you have a lot of retention, or rather, I should put it the way that you have a lot of attrition.
Okay.
You have to retain people.
Correct.
See, especially our industries, we need a very skilled manpower.
Okay.
Because we do our complete, the manufacturing ecosystem where you need all kind of people working for that. So retention plays a vital role in terms of building your mission very consistent and very reliable and giving a confidence to the customer. That's very important. When it comes to employee retention, more than retention that I do talk about in terms of their experience.
You mean to say employee experience, right?
Employee experience. How value their views.
Okay.
And see, here when it comes that, I want to split it in 3 different ways that you do that. One is that pre-onboarding and onboarding. How you're going to make them feel comfortable. How you're going to give a best experience.
Okay.
And the second phase comes while working, how you're going to build their career. How you're going to engage them. How you're going to say that they're part of the company.
Okay.
That's the second phase. When it comes to third phase, there are people who want to leave the organization to build their career outside.
Okay.
how smoothly, how you're going to, to
Send up.
make them leave the organization is very, very important. Because they're going to be your brand ambassador
Correct.
outside the company. So let's say first thing, when you say that I have one point to give, it's my personal experience.
Okay.
When it comes to employee experience,
Okay.
The first couple of days in an organization, exactly 20 years ago, I got an offer from one beautiful company. I had to go and join.
It's manufacturing, right?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
manufacturing.
Okay.
And my younger brother, who works on not exactly IT, but it is an tech center.
Acha. Okay.
It's a kind of an IT center.
Got it. Got it.
And we both have to go and join in that two different companies. I have to go to manufacturing.
Same day?
Same day.
Oh, wow.
Same day.
Okay.
We were living in a BDM layout.
Acha. Okay.
We both were living in BDM. In the morning, we got up and he went towards Electronic City. I went towards my company.
Okay.
I went and I completed my joining formalities and then I finished. It's a beautiful organization and I got a very good experience. And I came back in the evening home. And my brother came back from that company. But in the evening, he bought some stuff in his hand. Example, said got welcoming note.
Okay.
And perspective. They used to give a company brochure.
Okay.
And then group photo, because there were a couple of people have joined
Same
together,
day,
and the
okay.
same day they took a photo and they framed it and they gave it to him. And the next day he bought an appointment letter which talks about terms and conditions and what facility they do give and what kind of remuneration or compensation that he is. And third day he bought a laptop and along with a beautiful backpack.
Okay.
The branding with the company.
Okay.
And unfortunately, though my companies are so beautiful, good, I felt happy, but I did not get those kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I didn't feel anything.
Achha.
I was happy. I said, okay, fine, because each companies are different.
Different culture. Yeah.
And the same weekend, we both went back to native.
Okay.
So he went and he started showing to my parents saying that, Appa, look at this. This is where my company is. This is how beautiful the infrastructure, and this is my compensation. This is my laptop and the brand new one and everything. And then my parents were very happy. After that, my dad, turned to me and say, "Where is yours? You both joined the same day. He went and joined that company. I went and joined the other company. But I didn't have anything. That day I felt like, which company that I've joined? Or rather, I should have joined the other company. That felt, kind of a dissatisfaction, I can say. I came back after a couple of months when we had a team interaction.
Okay.
I expressed my feeling to my leader,
Okay.
my manager, said that this is what I felt really. And definitely it is a good if we can take care of the employees first few days of their joining. And he gave me an opportunity saying that, Jai, you're responsible for the first 90 days of joining. One is pre-boarding and then onboarding total. Then we made all these things. I'm not saying that giving something is important.
But experience that.
Experience
That's
is
very
important.
Yeah.
And how are you going to welcome, how are you going to receive the employee? And before you could join, how are you going to connect with him? How are you going to make him comfortable? And the day or first 1 week of employees spent in an organization, if he feels that, oh God, this is the company that I was looking for, I'm happy working here, I'll tell you, post that, whatever the challenge that he faces it, he will not leave the company. He will take that challenge as his challenge and then he will face it. And he will, go along with the company.
Got it.
First phase. Second phase, when it say that during your journey in an organization, every employee, in addition to your compensation, he looks at that, how I'm going to grow in an organization. What is my next position? See, you can find a lot of different kinds of people working in an organization. Somebody has aspiration to grow in a ladder. Somebody has aspiration to increase his compensation. Somebody has an aspiration to have more and more responsibility. Then how are you going to satisfy them according to their need or they desire. That's very important. It's not that I'm going to increase the compensation across our organization, or I'm going to increase or give a promotion to the people, give more responsibility. As a leader, you'll have to find that what is his need and start giving that. Then your retention works fine.
Okay.
And because everybody will not be the same.
Correct.
You'll have ups and downs and different varieties of people. And you have to find what exactly they want. That's the second thing. One could be like aspiration, as I said, that I want to grow and I want a responsibility. I need to improve compensation. Or somebody may say that, okay, I got a job. I keep doing the same thing for next 10 years. I'm not a leader material.
Got it.
I wanted to continue as a employee. I'm happy working there. Sometimes you have to retain them also, being a subject matter experts.
Correct. Got it.
Okay, and the last phase that I can say that due to many reasons, people may decide to leave the organization. Please respect their decision and relieve them with a good note. Relieve them with a happy moment. Make us journey meaningful and send them out. And then he'll become your brand ambassador for your company.
Absolutely.
It's not only just company, I'll tell you, even as a leader, he respects you all the time. I have another example here to say that one of the company, because this is my 5th company that I'm working now, I resigned, I decided to leave. They respected me a lot and they said that they tried retaining and then they said, okay, I respect you, Jay, you decided to leave. Fine, you leave. And then I didn't know what is the consequence. I didn't want to say that. And I went and told this is going to be my last working day. Allow me to, complete my process and then to get relieved. He said, are you mad? If you work for next few days, you are eligible for something big in an organization. He said, I'll give you a leave for 3-4 days. What you said, you just go, come back and then relieve him that day. And you are eligible for this. So that makes you more, you will get some benefits out of it. That's one. Second one is, most of the mistake as a leader that we do is the day that guy resigns, we do start, not including him in our decision making. Because anyway, he decided to leave, let him not be part of it.
Correct.
I respect my leader because he allowed me to take a decision till the last day of my working. Wow. Okay. Today, if he calls me, immediately without any reaction, I'll pick up his phone and say, hey, hi, how are you? So that gives you a kind of a comfort. One is as an organization, that is where I said that as a leader that you have to craft the culture. Second one is as a individual leader, what you're going to gain. These two things are very important. That's the reason engagement, I phase it in 3 different phases. First is onboarding everybody. How you're going to make them comfortable first 90 days. Second one is during the journey, how you're going to make them to build based on their need. Last one is if anybody decides to leave, please respect and leave them with a good note. Okay. So these things will make you more comfortable.
No, it's really very rightly you mentioned. It's very beautiful how you put across. And I understand it's very, very important employee experience. And as you mentioned rightly that when you join the first company, you gave the story with your comparing with your younger brother. And one of the senior person, the manager, told that, okay, you take care of this one. Because when something happened to personally, then we gone through that kind of experience. And when someone is given the opportunity to look into that one, that will come in a different way. That's what I believe in it.
Because that's my personal experience.
Absolutely. Makes
so I want to make
difference.
It how I feel comfortable.
Because,
how I make it more important.
Because as an HR, you're feeling like that and think about the employee in our organization.
True.
And that is beautifully you see the story. Now, presently, based on your experience, based on last 20 years, what are your employee engagement in organization? Like as you rightly mentioned, okay, onboarding, 90 days and all. Apart from that, what kind of experience would I know? I'm not talking about materialistic was that. What is the experience you're going to do? Like what you presently looking to focus?
The first, I say that you understand the pulse of the people.
Okay.
What exactly they are here for.
Okay.
And then make the changes.
Okay.
See, course correction is always be there. Whatever I've done 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it's not permanent and it's not holds good always. Right? You have to keep changing, keep making course corrections to suits your requirement. And if I say that I've worked for 5 organizations, what works in that organization, not necessarily that works
in this.
here.
Yeah. Got
Because peoples are different, process is different, culture is different. So if that is the case, you look at what exactly this company needs and then you make that. In addition to that, trust is very important. Walk the talk, what we say. Okay. What you commit, you deliver it. If you cannot deliver it, don't commit.
Okay.
That's very important. Okay. So just to give one example, when I joined one of the organization, we had a very union, which was very vibrant, or rather, they were very furious.
Okay.
And they came to me and they said, these things are not happening. We wanted to do that. We wanted to change. Otherwise, we go for strike. I said, okay, just relax. Tell me what is your pain points. They were not ready to say that. Sir, whenever there is a HR keep changing, they all does the same thing. So you're
the
same like no, a new wine in or what is that, old wine in a new bottle. So the same thing which is going to happen.
Okay.
I said, no, if you really wanted to trust me.
Okay.
At least take this as an experiment to trust. I said, fine. We started working out. I'll tell you how trust or mistrust happen. Example, in a HR department, you directly connect with a workman or an employee. When an employee comes to meet you as a HR guy for a very, very simple solution, let's take example, his leave is not corrected. Leave, whatever he has taken, it's not corrected in the system. He comes to HR department and he says, sir, my leave is not updated properly in the system. You will say, hey, fine, come later, I'm busy. He respects and he goes back. And then come on the next time, you're not in a seat. He'll go back, come again, next day.
Got it.
So then you're completely occupied with a lot of other activity. You couldn't do that. He will go back. Fourth time, he will not come to you. He will go to your manager.
Correct.
Or he will go to union, and the union will come and discuss with you in a big forum saying that our employees are not taken care. Okay? So where is the, things is not going right?
Yeah.
For him, it is fourth time. For you, it is one time.
Correct.
If that is the case, why can't you go them, put a kind of an SOP, this is what it is, this is how I do that. And then follow meticulously. Things will be taken care. That's one. The another one, most of the times we make a mistake is we overcommit. Example, my leader or a manager comes to me and says that, hey, Jay, this task to be completed today. Can you do it? I know I cannot do it because I've caught up with a lot of other activities. But still, I cannot say no. I will say, okay, I'll do it. But I know I cannot do that. But sure, I will not be able to do that. So next day when he comes and says, Jay, you said yesterday you're going to do it, you have not done it. I will say, sorry, I'll do it now. Then, repeatedly such thing happens. Manager will say, hey, whatever I tell to Jai, he will not do it on time. But rather, you tell him, hey, I cannot do it today because I've got a lot of other activity. I'm sure that I'm going to do it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so learn to say no. That's very important.
Yes. This is one is learn to say no. Second one is walk the talk. You say, tomorrow I'm going to do that. Tomorrow, please ensure before you could come, you go back and say, I've completed. Okay? Repeated such things. You may say that, hey, Jai, I need to complete today. The moment you say, no, I cannot do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. He will not even say anything because he already started building a trust, saying that if Jai says he's going to do it tomorrow, he will do it.
Correct.
That's how you have to build a trust. Sometimes, it's not only in an official or a professional life, even in personal life, it happens the same. Most of the time, intentionally or unintentionally, we make mistake, or rather overcommit. We take people granted.
Yeah, correct.
We do say something. Your intention is good, but how they perceive it is very important. One small such wrong move, it's absolutely a right move for you, but for them it is not, but that you're going to break a trust. And I'll tell you, regaining a trust, you have to put 100 times more effort than maintaining it. And that's most of us having an experience.
No, good. Yeah, I think you. It's very important. Every touch point in your like when you have a conversation to give that kind of experience. Like even though any employee or union leader or your subordinate, that's very very important. That's how it's going to build a trust, and definitely the trust going to leads to the different result in our lives. The productivity increase, the performance enhance. That's rightly you mentioned. Now, when you have do all those things, like I want to very curious to know, because I know there is a lot of egos will be there, right? And I want to understand how we're going to handle these egos, because is it easy to tell, okay, these kind of things we need to take care of, but when it's come to handling union or handling subordinate, definitely they have an ego. I think ego is good to be there, and but may not be super ego. Like, that's what I understand.
See,
I hope you got my point, right?
Yeah. When you say ego is psychologically different.
Okay.
And what practically is different.
Okay.
When it comes to psychology, just to take theoretical thing, the psychologist Sigmund Freud coined 3 different dynamic personalities. That is id, ego, and superego.
Okay.
Id is nothing but it's your impulsive.
Okay.
It's immediate needs. It works on pleasure principle.
Achha.
I need to get my coffee now. I'll have to have coffee, enjoy and leave it. So when it comes to ego, it's more talks about your practicality, realistic one. Whether if I have a coffee, what is my consequences? Should I need to have it? If I want to have it, what is the quantity that I should have? So it all comes into a practical thing. When it comes to superego, no, you should not drink coffee. Coffee is not good for health. And it's more of value system, more of moral ideology. Most of the time in our current situation where we are living in a society, superego has become like, very difficult to maintain. Yes, of course you need it, but you may have to tweak it somewhere to make it more, comfortable for us to work on it. One. When it comes to, as you said that, yes, of course, most of the time you have to play a different role in an organization, as I said in the past, to satisfy many people. Correct. Normally we call it as ego satisfaction, right? So that always be there. It's not that we cannot do it, but yes, see, for us, especially when it comes to HR, you have to satisfy employees, you have to satisfy the management as well. So that's how you become a sandwich. Correct. But you should know that this is both science and arts. So there is a set rules and regulations, right? That is your science. You have to do like this only. When it comes to art, how you're going to put it across, how you're going to convince, how you're going to talk to the people, how you're going to get their confidence to complete the work is very important. So that's heart and science that I can say. We have to have a balanced leadership style.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. I think we talk about culture, we talk about retention, and we talk about employee experience. Then we talk about now ego. And one of the another point, what I have to understand from you that as you mentioned, there's a different department, different challenges going to face, right? I know ego is a different and challenge is different.
Yes.
Ego may not be have every day. The challenge will definitely have a everyday problem because something is going to come up in life, something is going to come in organization, or something in coming in a department wise. How are you going to handle the challenges like?
See, challenges day in, day out. I'll tell you, when a baby born, the baby first challenge is to breathe.
Correct.
And till the death, every day, every minute, every moment, you will have a challenge. Challenge for everything. It's not that we don't have any challenges. How are you going to manage the challenge is very important.
As a leader, how are you going to
see the challenge is very important.
Okay.
If you see that breathing is my challenge, you cannot survive. You have to say, okay, breathing is my part of my life. If I don't breathe, I don't live. So that will become an easy. How you look at the challenge is important. To say I heard somewhere recently the beautiful story how you have to see challenge.
Okay.
Hope you know Krishna and Balarama.
Definitely, everyone know Mahabharata.
They are the brothers. So to buy something or to get something, they had to go to forest.
Okay.
Because they didn't have any malls like us to go and buy something. For everything that was supposed to go to forest. Both of them went. They did some time. They spent time there, and they took what they want. While coming back, it was dark. Okay, they didn't have any that time like jungle resorts, forest resorts, and all. They had to stay in a deep forest.
Okay.
You know that the animals around, and there are chances where they can come and trouble you. So they decided among themselves, saying that okay, so I'm going to sleep for some time. You have to wake up and watch around what is happening. And after some time, you sleep, and then I'll do things. I mean, I'll safeguard you. Initially, Krishna slept.
Okay.
Balarama was looking around and safeguarding Krishna was sleeping, and then suddenly there's a monster came in.
Oh.
Monster. We have to imagine a monster will have a big head and then will have teeth. It started screaming.
Okay.
Balarama got scared. Okay, and then again the voice of the monster raised, and it's louder and louder. Balarama has become weak, and then the monster started growing big, such that it's completely covered the universe. Balarama completely got scared. He fainted. Okay, and then Krishna woke up. Krishna saw Balarama is fainted, is sleeping. What Krishna thought is, okay, my brother got a deep sleep, so let him sleep. I will watch around. I will take care of him. Suddenly, again, the monster came in and started screaming in front of Krishna. Krishna saw that and he asked, who are you? What do you want? Then again, monster started screaming. The voice went loud. And then it started growing. Krishna firmly said, who are you? What do you want? Why are you here? The moment he kept asking those questions, the monster started shrinking.
Okay.
It will become small. It was the smallest one where Krishna could pick up and put it in his pocket. Okay? Next day morning, both of them got up. And they started walking back towards home. And then Balarama started telling to Krishna, saying that, hey, Krishna, you don't know, yesterday night there's a big monster came in. And such a huge, it was, I got completely scared. Then immediately Krishna took his monster from his pocket and showed, is it the one? It means how you look at the problem is. So if you look at the problem is bigger than you, bigger than your imagination, yes, suppose it scares you.
Right.
When you start facing the problem, breaking the problem into pieces, then it will become small pieces, easy to handle it. The big challenge or thing is we look at the problem or a challenge as a big one, which we cannot achieve it. You just go hit and then you will get the solution. So that's what I can say that. So you have to face the challenge as fast as possible. And also I've told in the past saying that you allow people to make mistakes. Mistakes are nothing but the challenges, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Then you will learn a lot of lessons from there. That's how it goes. That's how it builds confidence in you.
Wow, nice story to understand how to handle a problem or a challenges. Because normally what we do when problem arises, when challenges, we'll take a step back. Instead of that one, let's go and face it. And once you become that kind of person, then as you rightly mentioned that it start looking very small. And there is no problem in the world that you don't have any solution. Every problem you have a solution. Only you need to be more patient toward the one and should understand what actually is going to happen.
This is a favorite saying, right? Nothing is permanent, including problems.
Yeah, that's what says. That's a really nice story to put across and easy to understand and very well connected. Thank you so much for sharing story that these are makes very impactful our audience to understand the real problem, how to handle. Thank you so much for sharing, Jayram.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, we discussed almost all topics, which is very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Now we are almost all end of this podcast now. Normally, any guests who come out there for Leaders Speak podcast, we'll ask 3 tips from you, like 3 pro tips, what you call, for the upcoming leaders or professional people. Can you just help us to give the 3 pro tips?
So any leaders who are working for an organization, that I can say that 3 are: one is be more ethical. Okay. Second one is please understand the complete business process, business scenario, what you are working.
Okay.
And third one is be more empathetic towards your team and employees. So that they are the one who gets you everything.
Okay.
If you want me to, say elaborate points, so ethical is very important when you're working in an organization. So each and every company will have their core value systems.
Correct.
Please follow that value system and be ethical as long as you're working for that organization. Because that is the organization who gives you a name, fame, money, everything.
Correct.
Be loyal to the company and work for them. And once you change the company, that's up to you.
Absolutely.
When you go to the new company and you follow the new company, that professionalism, ethics doesn't change.
Correct.
First. Second one is, until you understand the complete business scenario, you cannot contribute anything.
You mean to say business process, how the business works?
Yes.
Okay.
As a leader, don't be, I'm an HR. It's not that only I know HR.
Correct.
You should know the business.
Absolutely.
Then only I can craft my HR processes based on the need of the business.
Absolutely.
End of the day, unless you get a product out of your factory, none of us will not have a bread and butter. So you understand the complete business process and support them. And third is, you have to be more empathetic towards your employees. See, you take care of them, they will take care of the business. And that's what I'm saying, that any team member can definitely, if team members are successful, our team is success, obviously the leader is success. If team fails, leader fails. So take care of your team, so they will make you success. So these are the 3 tips that I can say that to any people who are working for an organization. So that makes you more stronger and more sustainable.
Great. Super, sir. Thank you so much for sharing all your experiences, and I love the stories. Basically, it's amazing stories and sharing your practical experiences. It's been great conversation with you. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's my pleasure, inviting me to your podcast. And I wish you all the best and all the success for the upcoming, the podcast series.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lord.
Once again, sir, thank you so much for coming. Please accept our sustainable brand called Rafter.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Here, my 3 takeaway from this episode. The number one is, don't demotivate itself is a motivate. In this conversation, he mentioned very, very important that how to encourage others. For example, employee is not doing great, is not performing in the work. You don't demotivate in front of so many people. You need to help him to understand what actually problem he is to solve and motivate in such a way that he can overcome those problems. This is one of the best thing what I'll take away from this episode. The second thing will be employee experience. As he mentioned rightly that he given us beautiful story of his and his younger brother, that he went to some IT technology company and he started his career in a manufacturing. And initial stages, the 1 week or 3 days, he compared between them. How does other industries taking care of the employee experience and this manufacturing he was taking care. That made him to come to that employee experience best person in the organization, because his senior, his manager is given opportunity to think about how can he build his own employee experience with the employee. That's what he changed himself and he focused more on employee experience in the organization. And third point is 4 M's. This is something new to me. As a manufacturing industry, they work on these 4 M's. The first one is the men, money, materialistic, material and method. It's very, very important and integral part of the organization, these 4 M's, because when you talk about method, it's basically the process what they talk about. And money, it's very important investment wise, or the expenses what you're going to talk, any new technology you want to buy, this is very important. And material, definitely the product, the finished product or unfinished products, these are very, very important. All these 3 depends on man, the kind of people you're going to hire, the kind of people we're going to in the leadership committee. That's very, very important. And these are my 3 takeaway from this episode. If you like this episode, please do subscribe and share with your professional friend. See you in the next episode. Thank you.